welcome to the stage Vice President of Cloud AI and Industry Solutions at Google Cloud, June Yang.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Google Cloud Next 2023. It is so great to be back in person this year. My name is June Yang. Today, I'm excited to share with you what's next with generative AI at Google Cloud. AI is undergoing a major shift with the rise of foundation model. Now you can leverage these foundation models for a variety of use cases without ML expertise, with little to no training data. This is really a game changer for AI, and is significantly accelerating time to value for enterprises to adopt AI. When it comes to generative AI, our goal is to bring the power of enterprise-ready generative AI to help organizations innovate faster. As Thomas mentioned at the keynote, Google is the only company that offers the full technology stack, from the high-performance AI infrastructure to foundation models, to the tools that use these models to build custom models and applications with Vertex AI, to integrate these generative AI capability into GCP product with Duet AI. Across the entire stack, we have incorporated security, privacy, compliance, and control, all of these requirements that enterprise need to adopt generative AI. If you want to learn more about Duet AI, please attend a host of other spotlight sessions on the talk about how we're bringing Duet AI to Google Cloud products, to BigQuery, to Workspace, and more. In today's session, we're going to focus on Vertex AI, our comprehensive AI platform that helps enterprises to build AI-powered applications and services. Duet AI itself is built on Vertex AI as well. So we have seen tremendous demand from our customers on Vertex AI. Since April of this year, the number of customers engaging with Google Cloud on generative AI has grown by 15x. Our customers and partners are leveraging generative AI for a variety of use cases. As you can see on this slide here, we have a number of customers, some of them you saw a little bit earlier in the keynote. And we're excited to have both GitLab and World Bank joining us today. You'll hear from them just a little bit. At Google, with the rise of generative AI, we can democratize AI far beyond the data scientist, enabling a much larger range of users, like developers and business users, to take advantage of AI. We understand that based on customers' use cases and technical skills, they will consume generative AI differently. So we're powering our application, like Contact Center AI and Document AI, with generative AI capability to help business users achieve more value quickly with new functionality like summarization, accelerated bot building, and more. Developers, a much larger audience, can now leverage our powerful foundation models to infuse generative AI capabilities into their application for transformative results. Vertex AI combines the foundation model capability with search and conversation to allow developers to easily and quickly build chatbots, voice bot, knowledge search, and many, many more use cases. AI practitioners, like data scientists and ML engineers, can easily access foundation models and the tools needed to tune, deploy, and monitor these models in Vertex AI platform. And of course, everything is built on top of a world-class infrastructure. And all of these features are generally available, and you can use them today. So we'll get started to talk about foundation model first. A foundation model is a large model that's trained on a vast corpus of data. It recognizes, predicts, generates words, images, text, videos, and more. It is capable of doing many tasks out of the box with little to no additional training. We have launched multiple families of Google Foundation models across different modalities, from text to code to images to speech to embedding and more. All of these models are now generally available and immediately accessible via Vertex AI. Today, we're excited to announce new versions across several of these foundation model families. starting with our text and chat model, PaLM 2. Many of you have asked, hey, can you increase the input token length? We heard you. With this new version, we have increased the input token length by 4 times, from 8,000 tokens to 32,000 tokens, making it easy for you to process longer form documents like research paper, legal briefs, books, documents, and more. You've also asked for more language support, and we're announcing general availability for 38 languages today, including Arabic, Chinese, Japanese, German, Spanish, and more. We also have 100 more languages in private preview. We're also launching upgrades to our text-to-image model, Imagine. Imagine provides capability such as image generation, editing, captioning, visual Q&A, and more. With this new version, we have significantly improved the quality of the generated images. We're also introducing a very cool feature, style tuning, which some of you saw at our keynote this morning. Leveraging this feature, enterprise can now create images aligned to their specific brand guideline or other creative needs with as few as 10 reference images. And style tuning is actually available today. Continuing on the topic of AI-generated images, we are pleased to be the first cloud provider to enable digital watermarking for generated images. Digital watermarking on Vertex AI is powered by Google DeepMind SenseID, a state-of-the-art technology that embeds watermark directly into the image of the pixels, and making it invisible to the human eye, so it does not damage the quality, and it's difficult to remove. We're launching digital watermarking in experimental and are working with a selected set of partners and customers to learn and refine this capability. We have also upgraded Cody, our text-to-code model. With this new version, customer will see up to 25% quality improvement in the supported programming language for code operation, code chat, code generation, and more. Additionally, we're also announcing the preview of streaming API for code generation and chat, which streams the model output in real time, thereby improve the developer's experience. Text to SQL, as the name suggests, is converting natural language to SQL, allow customers and users who may not be familiar with SQL to be able to leverage this power with just plain language. In addition to the base foundation models, we're also providing foundation models for industry-specific use cases, like SecPalm for cybersecurity domain and MedPalm for medical domain. For MedPalm, we have been working with a small set of customers like Bayer Pharma, HCA Healthcare, MedTech, and more to understand how MedPalm could be used. Based on the feedback and the overwhelming customer demand, we're excited to expand the private preview for MedPalm. Now more customers can leverage the power of MedPalm to unlock new use cases in healthcare. In line with our commitment around fostering an open ecosystem, today we're announcing the addition of Meta's Llama 2 and CodeLlama to our model garden. CodeLlama was added to Vertex AI within 48 hours of its release. Really kind of speaking to the power of the platform here. Of course, all of this, the launches are done with required enterprise readiness and the security control built in. We're also pre-announcing the addition of Anthropic's Cloud 2 to Model Garden. With these additions, Google Cloud now provides the widest variety of models to choose than any other hyperscale provider. We have our own models. We welcome models from partners. And of course, we embrace open source models. With access to over 100 curated models in Vertex AI, customers have the flexibility to pick the best model for their particular use cases. Zooming in on Llama 2, I'm excited to announce that Google Cloud is the only cloud provider that provides both adapter tuning and reinforcement learning with human feedback for Llama 2. This allows the organization to tune Llama 2 with their own enterprise data while continuing to maintain full control and ownership of their data. Now, I'd like to introduce David DeSanto, Chief Product Officer from GitLab, to talk about how they're leveraging Google's foundation model, Cody and Palm. Welcome, David. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, June. For those here who are not familiar with GitLab, we're fundamentally changing how development, security, and operations teams work together, collaborate, and build secure software. From planning to coding, to building to securing, to monitoring and deploying, we help organizations build more secure software faster. We're able to do this because we provide the most comprehensive enterprise DevSecOps platform delivered as a single application. And now, this application is way more efficient with the use of AI. I've been meeting with GitLab customers all over the world, and they share the same concern. Their concern is, will my software, my source code, my intellectual property be used without my consent? And I'm sure some of you have the same concern as well. That concern is what led GitLab to define our vision for how we will use AI. Our vision is built on top of 3 key tenets. The first is apply AI across the entire software development lifecycle. This is because even if you made your developers 100 times more effective, something around them will break. Our second is to lead with a privacy-first approach, meaning that your code stays your code, and we will not use it for training or fine-tuning of models. We also lead the same way on transparency as well. Our goal is to tell you what AI models we're using for what and how those models were trained. And finally, we want to lead with a best-in-class AI experience, meaning that we're choosing the right AI model for the right use case. This is to help us avoid the whole, if my LLM is a hammer, everything must be a nail. So to achieve this vision, we needed the right partner, and Google Cloud is that right partner. This is because Google Cloud shares the same strong sense of commitment to enterprise readiness and privacy. And we're thrilled to be working with Google Cloud on delivering our vision for AI-powered workflows as part of the software development lifecycle. Today, we're leveraging Palm 2 foundation models, including the Cody model family, to deliver AI-powered experiences to users all involved in creating software. That can be product managers, marketing teams, whoever they are, they get the boost from AI. This partnership has come fully to life, and we're able to deliver value to our customers every day. Google Cloud's Vertex AI Model Garden has helped create one of the best outcomes so far. And with that, I want to introduce you to GitLab Duo. GitLab Duo is our suite of AI-powered features that enable users across the entire software development lifecycle with the goal of making everyone 10x more efficient. With GitLab Duo, you have an AI-powered partner to help you ship more secure software, deploy more effectively, ensure your CI/CD pipelines are healthy, and make sure you catch vulnerabilities before they're in production. It's so exciting to see GitLab Duo come to life and help everyone contribute more effectively. To bring this to life, we selected the right foundation models for each use case to ensure we are delivering a best-in-class AI experience. For our users, this means that their teams can now get up to speed much faster during planning, write better, more secure software more efficiently, get through code review faster, and I can tell you that's a big pain point for a lot of customers, as well as resolve vulnerabilities faster. In fact, resolve them before the code is committed and pushed into production. And just like AI and GitLab, all this AI functionality is part of the same unified workflow, allowing development teams, security teams, and operations teams to work more effectively powered by AI. Now, one of the features I wanted to highlight for you today is GitLab Duo's code suggestions. And actually, it was mentioned in the keynote earlier today as well. Code suggestions is built on top of the Palm 2 family, specifically the Cody models, to give developers efficiency from suggesting and completing code. Code suggestions keeps developers in their flow by completing lines of code, creating and defining logic for functions, generating test cases, and so much more. Code Suggestions supports 14 languages today and is supported on the major IDEs that customers of GitLab use, and I'm sure a lot of your teams use as well, including GitLab's Web IDE, VS Code, Visual Studio, JetBrains, and NeoVim, and we have more to come. And of course, Code Suggestions is built on top of the same privacy as a critical function. This means that your source code will not be used to train the feature. And we're excited to be bringing the newest AI models mentioned this week at Next to Code Suggestions, including today making available the ability to go from comment to code within our IDE. Please stay tuned. We'll have lots more announcements related to the integration of all the other models that are coming out. In close, I want to share that Code Suggestions is actually available right now for free to any GitLab user. If you're not a GitLab user, you can go to gitlab.com and sign up. But it's free on gitlab.com, GitLab Dedicated. That's our single tenant SaaS offering, as well as GitLab self-managed customers, while we have it in the future in beta. So I highly encourage you to check it out, get the power of Google AI as part of your GitLab experience, and get the boost of efficiency our customers are telling us about, being able to get through coding, code review, and applications deployed into production much faster. And with that, thank you all, and back to you, June.
Thank you, David, for joining us today. It is so great to see these capabilities in action. We have just talked about a number of advancements on the foundation model, but we didn't stop there. We ask ourselves, while the foundation model are powerful and capable, can we do better? The answer is yes. We have developed a set of model augmentation tools to augment the capability of foundation model further, to make them more useful for enterprises. Let me highlight a few of them today. Enterprises want foundation model outputs to be factual. Grounding is the ability to force the model to provide output that's based on user-specific, user-specified source material to ensure that responses from foundation models are factual and verifiable. Extension is a set of tools that help developers to connect the foundation model to real-time information and real-world actions via APIs. And finally, tuning is the ability to be able to customize a foundation model with your enterprise data to provide more accurate and relevant results. So let's walk through each one of these in more detail. First, grounding. Today, I'm excited to announce the new grounding capability in Vertex AI in preview. This will enable our customer to ground their responses on their own enterprise data. And the best part is that customer can now enable this integration out of box without any development work. So let me show you an example. On this example, it shows a generic answer you would get from a foundation model on the question about 401k contribution. Now, if we ground the data on your enterprise data, the response now is augmented with the company-specific information about 401k matching information that's sourced from your own enterprise data. Now that's much more useful for your user. Extensions. Extension empowers the developer to easily integrate real-time data and real-world actions into generative AI-powered application. We're excited to announce Vertex AI extension in preview. Vertex AI extension is designed to be enterprise-grade with enterprise encryption, data control, and security out of the box. Developers can leverage Google-built extensions for services like BigQuery, AlloyDB out of the box, as well as partner-built extensions from DataStax, MongoDB, Redis, and more. Of course, developer can also build, upload, test, and manage their own extensions. For folks who are familiar with the React framework, we're also including the agent support to provide enterprise-grade orchestration capability with advanced logic to make extensions more capable. You see that in just a little bit in the Vertex AI search and conversation area. So just about every enterprise has a large repository of data. I often get asked, how do I tune my data? What's the best method? Well, my response is, well, it depends. The best method to use for customizing the foundation model depends on the specific task. It depends on the type of training material you have available, and also depends on your in-house ML skill set. Let me highlight a few options that we offer and some considerations on when you might choose one option over the other. Going from left to right, the tuning mechanism gets more sophisticated, requiring more data, and generally costs more to tune. So starting with the simplest one, prompt design. That's the simplest one. This is where the user is designing the prompt and optionally adding a few examples. This does not require ML expertise and can be done directly through the UI or API. The second method is adapter tuning, which requires a bigger training data set with tens to hundreds of examples and some more compute to train. This requires some ML expertise. What it yields is an adapter model, which is additive to our base model, and together, they're able to generate more custom results for your enterprise. Because we create a clear separation between the adapter layer and the base model, adapter model give you the power of customization while protecting your data and IP. Today, we're excited to announce that adapter tuning for text and image is generally available, and adapter tuning for chat and code is in preview. For more advanced users, we also offer reinforcement learning with human feedback. So this allows a user to be able to take the human feedback on the model output to tune the model using Vertex AI pipelines. This technique takes a higher level ML skill set. Based on strong customer feedback, we're excited to announce that reinforcement learning with human feedback is now in preview. Finally, full fine-tuning, which is where the base model weights are adjusted to fit the model for specific use cases. This is a good choice for customers who have a large amount of training data and advanced ML practitioners in-house. Now you can leverage Vertex AI to customize selected open-source large language models like T5, BERT, with full fine-tuning capability. Choice is really at the heart of Vertex AI. Customer can pick the right model, the right tuning method that best suit for their business needs and business skill sets. Now, with all these choices, all these models and model augmentation options, customers now have a different dilemma, which is, how do I know which model is best for my use cases? How do I know which augmentation method is best used for this particular model? So we believe it's imperative to have a systematic way to evaluate the quality of different models and different augmentation tools. At Google Cloud, this is something we do day in, day out, to look at our models and deciding whether this is the model we want to put out there for consumption. So I'm happy to share that we're making our model evaluation tools and framework available to our customers. Two general approaches on the model evaluation. Both are supported in Vertex AI evaluation. The first approach is automatic metrics. This is where the customers can define a task-specific metric for their use case. Customer can then evaluate the model output against the desired output, and Vertex AI will help determine the quality of the given model candidate. The second approach is automatic side-by-side. In this scenario, customer can use a large foundation model, sometimes referred to as the teacher model, as a proxy for human evaluator. This approach helps them narrow down and select the most promising candidate from the model family quickly for human evaluation, which in turn help to reduce both the cost and the time for evaluation. Switching gears a little bit. For most data scientists, the AI work really starts in the notebook. Colab is a notebook that's developed by Google Research to bring Google Doc-like collaboration features to data scientists. Since its release in 2017, Colab has been adopted widely. Today, Colab has over 7 million users, and 2/3 of the Fortune 100 companies are already using Colab. So I'm excited to announce the preview of Colab Enterprises on Vertex AI. Colab Enterprise is now the common notebook interface across multiple Google Cloud services, Vertex AI, BigQuery, and more. With Colab Enterprise, users can now get up and running quickly with zero configuration experience. We have also added generative AI-powered code completion and generation capability to help data scientists to be more productive. And of course, the popular collaboration capability of Colab carries over, enabling sharing amongst team members to accelerate experimentation. Now I'd like to invite my colleague, Nikita Namjoshi, to the stage to demo some of the latest features and that we have just talked about. Over to you, Nikita.
Thank you, June. Today, I want to show you how to use Vertex AI to explore and customize foundation models across different data modalities. We'll be using GenAI Studio, which provides the simple UI for you to interact with these models. If you want to extract real insights from text data, you often need that data to be in some structured format, like JSON, so that you can store it in a database and analyze and process it at scale. So I have saved a prompt to help us do that. I'm going to open up this prompt here. And let's say that I want to analyze a bunch of tech specs for a bunch of different products. Instead of doing this manually, which would take me a bunch of time, I can use a large language model to efficiently extract structured data from text. And we can prototype this really quickly in GenAI Studio. So let's zoom in on this prompt. The first thing we do is instruct the model to extract the text specs. And then we specify that we want this done in JSON format. After that, we have a string of text, and this is just a bunch of information about the Google Pixel 7. There are a few different models I can choose from, including the POM32K model that June mentioned, which allows for longer document inputs. But this is a pretty short prompt, so we'll just stick with the standard model for now. And we'll click Submit. And what we get back from the model is the key pieces of information have been extracted as product attributes like network, RAM, processor, and then their corresponding values for the Pixel phone entirely in JSON. And with the expanded language support that June mentioned, we can now prompt the model in a variety of other languages. So now I'm going to open up the same prompt, but this time it's in Spanish. So we'll go in and we'll select our model. And then we can scroll down and click Submit. And what you'll see is that the model restructures the data as JSON again, but this time all of the keys and values are in Spanish. So now we've seen a few examples of going from text to text, but we can actually go from text to other data types like code or image. So next, let's check out Cody, which is a text-to-code model. I've saved one more prompt for us to test out, so I'm going to open up this prompt right now. Writing Docker files is a pretty common task for developers, and it's something that I can get Cody to help me with, which, as a data scientist, makes my life a whole lot simpler. So I'll zoom in on this prompt again, and we're now instructing the model to write a Docker file for us, but this time I have some requirements. I need the specific version of Python, and then I want some additional data science libraries installed, like PyTorch and TensorFlow and NumPy. To use Cody, all you need to do is make sure that you've selected one of the code models. And then we can scroll down and click Submit. And what we'll get back from the model is a full development environment ready to go. And this environment contains all of the packages that I need to do data science. So next, I'm going to use Cody to help me with actually writing some ML model code. So this time, I'll type in a new prompt. Generate Python code for a PyTorch model to do classification. Oops, always get a typo. All right. Using the MNIST data set. So if you're unfamiliar, MNIST is a standard data set for benchmarking and tutorials in machine learning. So what we'll get back is a bunch of PyTorch code that we can use to get us started on our data science journey. So to close off, there's one last data type that I want to check out with you, which is image. So let's navigate to the Vision section of GenAI Studio, where we can input text prompts and generate brand new images. If we scroll down under Style, you can select from a variety of predefined styles, like sketch, photography, or even cyberpunk. And as June mentioned, you can also tune your own custom styles as well. So because we know that no machine learning demo is truly complete if no one mentions kittens or puppies, I'm going to type in a cute kitten as our prompt. And let's just bump up the number of results. And we're going to generate these images in the watercolor style. And what we'll get back from the model is a variety of images. Oops, I actually opened up one. A variety of images of kittens in this distinctive watercolor style that we could use for different visual assets. So I hope that this shows you how to use Vertex AI to explore and customize foundation models across different data modalities. And I'm really excited to see what you build. And with that, I will hand it back to June.
Thank you, Nikita, for that great demo to showcase how easy and how quickly the model responds to the request. So we've talked about the myriad of advancement we've made to the foundation models. We then talked about the various augmentation tools to extend the capability of foundation models to make them more useful. But we didn't stop there. Having spoken with hundreds of enterprise customers, two of the most frequently requested use cases for generative AI is around search and chat application, like being able to do a Q&A with your own internal knowledge base, like having a chatbot to be able to help both your internal employees or external customers with their request. This is why we introduced Vertex AI Search and Conversation, bringing in our years of experience in search and conversation to complement foundation models, enabling enterprises to develop these type of experiences with ease. Vertex AI Search and Conversation, previously known as GenApp Builder, is now generally available. Now, if we break down these search and chat use cases, we see a common pattern. What we have is that we have an input from the user that can be coming in as a form of text, voice, or pictures. Then we have an orchestration layer that needs to understand what is the intent of the user and figure out how best to answer that. And the answer would come from different places depending on what the question. So for example, for a question like, what's your store hours? The answer would come from a simple website search. For a question like, hey, what's the difference between Roth IRA and IRA? The answer could come from the knowledge of the foundation model. For a question like, what's my vacation balance? Now the answer would come from your HR system via the extension. The orchestration layer allows enterprises to design the generative AI-powered experience and also guide the user down the desired path for quickest resolution. Finally, the output needs to be presented back to user. That can be in a variety of format, whether it's text, voice, or multimodal response. So let's take a closer look at Vertex AI Search. You may have seen Google's Search Generative experience. With Vertex AI Search, now you can offer the same experiences to your employees, partners, or customers with built-in low-code, multimodal, and multi-turn capability. Vertex AI Search applies the state-of-the-art information retrieval and deep retrieval techniques, leveraging embedding and so on, to enterprise data out of the box, and can be easily leveraged by customer, even with very limited technical expertise. With Search, one of the things our customer care most about is really data accuracy and reliability. So I'm excited to announce that Vertex AI Search results is also grounded on your enterprise data with auditable citations. Now I'd like to introduce Pugalumperumal, AI and ML platform lead from World Bank, to talk about how World Bank is using and leveraging our Vertex AI Search to reimagine search and generative AI from the Google Cloud side. Welcome, Raman.
Thank you, June. I'm so happy to talk about how the World Bank has partnered with the Google Cloud as part of the early adopter program, particularly for Vertex AI Search. As you may all know, World Bank is an international organization focused on development and primarily the twin goals of eliminating or ending extreme poverty and promoting shared prosperity. These are noble goals, right? But to achieve them, they require significant research, analysis, and of course, the operational expertise. Given the scale of our work and where we work on, and the importance of elevating the value of every dollar invested, knowledge management is absolutely essential. When it comes to knowledge management at the World Bank, our main objective is no different from all of you. It's getting the right information to the right people at the right time. The approach we took is also possibly very similar. Initially, we started with investing in taxonomies and tagging our content, and quickly started hitting the limitations on them. Then keyword search was next, and just like you, we've also hit the limitations with that method. And now, the promise of generative AI-powered search. We are excited about taking advantage of deep AI capabilities from these foundational models to reimagine our enterprise search. And we are working with Google Cloud to see how we can increase the value to our staff while minimizing the effort they take to find this information. Today, we spend a significant amount of time within the bank in content analysis, synthesis, and generation. Moving the needle on these steps with generative AI will give us, we hope, exponential benefits. We consume lots of information, and the analysis is usually focused on a very particular topic. The AI-generated summaries with the power of continued conversation with natural language would be awesome, because that'll get us jump-started. We consume and we produce. So we produce a lot of content, and if our staff are able to use enterprise search to generate summaries and use that as part of a zero draft, that would be amazing. Of course, we spoke about the power of conversation at the beginning, and the ability to have a conversation where once you have some information, you're able to drill down deeper, that would be priceless, because the World Bank has 70 years of data, which, if we tap into it, elevates the amount invested in development exponentially. And finally, the ability to jumpstart these capabilities with limited to no system integration work sounds super positive, because you've all been in my shoes where mainstreaming of innovation is absolutely critical, right? Innovation is good, but we have to mainstream it. Our journey with generative AI search has just started with summarization. As you can see, Vertex AI is able to provide an AI-generated summary based on a very complex query. It's a question in natural language, and it was able to respond back. As an operational analyst at the World Bank in my previous life, I would have had to look through multiple documents across multiple years, across multiple projects, and then looked at each of these documents to generate this information, to summarize these lessons learned, which you can see on the screen. Not anymore with Vertex AI search. Not just summarizing a response, it also provides citations for all the generated response, clearly demonstrating the grounding on our own data that June talked about. For the World Bank and as with any of your organizations, this is huge from a trust and verification perspective. I also get the top results for my query so that I can dig deeper and then use that information based on whatever I need, right? Pretty much like we do now. Finally, the multi-turn search functionality allows me to ask follow-up questions, reduces the time taken for each of these deep dives, and takes the time it takes us from a few weeks to a few hours. We are excited to continue our journey with Google Cloud to unlock other potential Gen AI capabilities around generation and conversation. We'll keep you posted on our progress. For now, back to you, June, and thank you for the partnership.
Thank you, Raman, for joining us today. It's great to see the tremendous progress that we have made together. So moving on to generative AI-powered conversation. With Vertex AI Conversation, we allow developers to bring all these capabilities together to easily build human-like, safe, and useful chatbots and voice bots. Not only can these bots understand users' intent and then provide users with a personalized answer, and then be able to generate multimodal responses across text, audio, images, they can also be enabled to support transactional capability, such as making a payment or completing an order. So how is that possible? Let's take a look. With Vertex AI Conversation, developers can start by easily connecting the bot to relevant data sources, whether it's your documents, your website, or other third-party systems, leveraging Vertex AI Data Connector. With just a few clicks, developers can now get a bot that can converse and answer questions from their enterprise data. To supercharge the bot with transactional capabilities, developers could leverage the extension either by building something they build themselves or using existing ones built either by Google or one of our partners. Developers can also execute common tasks by just adding pre-built tasks like check order status, explain bill, and more. Finally, if a developer wants more control over how the bot executes specific important tasks, they can leverage the playbook feature, which you saw at the keynote this morning, to be able to specify what they need in natural language, step by step, with instructions on how to execute the task to the bot, in the same way you would do to human agent. This greatly simplifies how you build a bot, and really we're talking about 10x reduction in terms of the time to build a bot. That's really useful. Together, foundation models, search, and conversation offers a quick path to value for many, many enterprise use cases. We have seen early adopter building a variety of applications, from travel planning to food service to banking assistant to website chatbots, realizing measurable gains in business metrics like customer satisfaction, employee productivity, cost savings, and more. Now I'd like to invite my colleague, Kalyan Pamarthy, to the stage to demo how easy it is for developers to build amazing generative AI experiences on Vertex AI. Over to you, Kalyan.
Thank you, June. Hi, everyone. So I'm here to show you how you can build and configure a search and conversation app, just like the one Raman showed, in a few easy steps. The example I'm going to be using is searching through knowledge and internal knowledge bases. I'm sure we've all asked questions like these at some point. Let's get started. So I'm going to start my journey in the Google Cloud Console, as you can all see here. I'm going to select my app type as search. I'm going to keep the advanced features on, because we want to show generative AI. I'll give my search engine a name, my test search engine. And then I'm going to pick a location for where the data should be indexed. For now, I'll just pick global, and I'll hit continue. So that's the first step. Now, the second step is to create a new data source. Now, we want to make this as easy as possible. We have out-of-the-box connectors to public websites, Google BigQuery, Google Cloud Storage, and even REST APIs. But we know that data within your organization is not all in one system. So today, we're launching out-of-the-box connectors to third-party systems. We're starting with Jira, Salesforce, and Confluence, and over the next few months, we'll have many other connectors. For the demo, let me just stick with Google Cloud Storage. So I'm going to select a Google Cloud Storage bucket here. I have one set up called Enterprise Docs Next. I'm going to click Select. I'm going to leave the selection as unstructured documents, because I'm showing document search, and then I'll hit Continue. I'll give the data store a name, my test data store. Then I'll hit Create. So that's the second step. Now, the third easy step is to connect your search engine to this newly created data store. I'm going to select it and hit Create. And that's it. We've got our search engine connected to our data store. Now, it can take a few minutes to index the data. So let me switch to an application that I created this morning. I'm going to go back to Apps. I'm going to click the application called Next_Search. Now we're ready to start testing our search engine. But before I do that, I want to show you the data that I've indexed, which is from the same Google Cloud Storage bucket that I showed you before. So in here, I've got about 50 documents, some on health benefits, some on understanding your pay stubs, et cetera, just like you would have within your enterprise knowledge bases. I'm going to switch to configurations. Now we've got a few different options in terms of the user experience. I'm going to pick search with an answer here. I'm going to leave snippets on, and then let's start searching. And for this, let's focus on the right-hand side of the screen. For my first search query, I'm looking for vacation policies at Symbol, which is the fictional company that I'm working with. So I'm going to say, what is the vacation policy at Symbol? OK. So you'll see we get a response. But there's three things here to highlight. One, just like Google Search does, you get a set of results of your most relevant search results. Then you also get a nicely summarized answer to the question that you've asked. Right? So you get some information on your vacation policy. And third, and probably the most important, is what you see here in brackets. Now, we know that large language models have a tendency to hallucinate, which is sometimes they can create information, and the information may be from outside your data sources. So we have invested heavily in grounding these LLMs which means that we're trying to make sure that the information generated by these large language models is coming from your data sources. And we can trace that information back to these data sources through citations, which is what you see here in brackets. Now, this grounding in citations is really important for us to be confident about the output generated by the LLMs. Now, let me switch to a different type of experience, a conversational one. I'm going to click Search with follow-ups. And I'll ask a different question. What are the benefits at symbol? Right? So just like before, you'll see a set of top results. So this is Google search technology at work on your data. We get a nicely summarized answer, just like before. And this answer, you'll notice, is a little more conversational, because you can use this in a conversational chatbot experience. But here, you can also ask a follow-up. And this is the power of conversational search and keeping context. So here, I'm going to say, tell me about healthcare, because I'm interested in healthcare benefits. You'll notice I haven't used the term benefits in my second search, right? So this is the LLM keeping context and continuing the conversation. And just like before, you see results, you see a nicely summarized answer, and this is about healthcare benefits, even though we've not used the term benefits. And I can keep going. And in case you're wondering what happened to citations, don't worry. We still have them in the APIs. And that brings me to my final point. Everything I showed here is also available via the API, and the system is highly customizable for your needs. You don't like the UI, you can switch it out. You want to bring your own embeddings or LLMs, you can do that too. With that, I'll hand it back to June.
Thank you, Kalyan, for that great demo. I think the thing I want you guys to remember is just how easy, how quickly you can actually get a search engine up and running with a variety of use cases, and you can also add conversational chat to that as well. So when it comes to generative AI, nowadays we get a lot of questions about enterprise readiness, about data governance and privacy, security and compliance, reliability, sustainability, safety and responsibility. These pillars are really the cornerstone of our approach to enterprise readiness. Now I'd like to highlight a few of the investments we've made in this area, starting with data privacy. The most important thing to remember about data privacy is that your data is your data. Let me first define your data. Your data includes the input prompt, the model output, the metadata, the training data, your human evaluation feedback, and so forth. We believe all of these are part of your data and your IP. We do not use your data to train our own model, so you can rest assured that you can use our product confidently, knowing that your data and your IP are protected. Moving on to security and compliance. All of our generative AI offering are built on top of Google Cloud infrastructure with the same high standard on security protocols. For Vertex AI platform, we have recently launched VPC security control, customer-managed encryption key, data residency, and access transparency. The same control is being rolled out to Vertex AI search and conversation in the coming months. When it comes to responsible AI, we have a comprehensive set of responsible AI tooling, including safety attributes, model evaluation, bias evaluation, content moderation, recitation check, and more. All of these tools to really help customers to understand and test their models, and thereby reduce the risk of negative or harmful outcome for their use cases. On this slide, it's a good example of responsible AI, showcasing our capability around safety filter. We classify over 15 harmful categories and provides a confidence score, so you can set safety filters with threshold that's appropriate for your particular use case. You can also set up automatic blocks if the threshold is breached. We are continuing to invest in this space and will help our customers using generative AI responsibly and effectively to transform their business. And finally, we're working closely with our partners across the entire stack to help our customers harness the power of AI. For example, we partner with foundation model creators and open source model providers, and making their models available to our customers through Vertex AI Model Garden. We partner with leading tool providers for generative AI development. We also partner with top SaaS providers to help them integrate AI into their solutions. And finally, we partner with leading consulting firms and system integrators to help enterprise adopt generative AI. Together with our SI partners, we're working to train more than 150,000 experts on Google Cloud AI to really meet the demand of our customers. We are still at the very early stage of generative AI journey. We're excited to see the accelerated pace of innovation in this area and the potential for AI. We look forward to working with all of you to unlock the power of generative AI. All through the next 3 days, we have a series of amazing sessions planned for you to help you learn and experience this exciting space of generative AI. Thank you so very much for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of Next.